There you go, young lady. The reason why I'm here today, folks, is I ran some ads in the paper last month or so and got quite a bit of response. 100 phone calls plus, but one particular instance I want to talk about today. I would assume, Marty, that the officers of the law take an oath to uphold the Constitution. Is that correct? And you probably have that on file. And I would just like to kind of read what that says. It says, and this is what I can find on the Secretary of State's side. I do solemnly swear or affirm that I support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same, that I take this obligation freely without mental reservation or purpose or evasion, that I will fully and faithfully discharge the duties of the office of which I'm about to enter. Like I said, I placed some ads in the papers, got a lot of phone calls, a lot of things of harassment going on in the county from the officers. But there's one particular case that I'm very disturbed about. Last Sunday, the 24th day of July, a gentleman named Don Weber, Highway PP north of Cuba, had his daughter call the law enforcement officials and say that he was despondent and he was going to harm himself. Now, I've only got Mr. Weber's side of the story, and I've talked to some of his neighbors, but they couldn't actually get up to the scene. So this is one side. I haven't heard from the law enforcement community. I didn't see a press release. I didn't see anything else in the papers. But what I understand and what Mr. Weber told me, that he was a widower. He lost his wife 3 months ago. Law enforcement showed up at his house, as opposed to going up and knocking on his door and saying, "Are you all right?" They waited for other forces to amass. An ambulance was called out. Once everybody arrived, there were about 8 or 9 officers there. The highway patrol had blocked off Highway PP. One of his neighbors tried to get up there and see what was going on. He was prevented from doing that. They ordered Don to come out, and over a bullhorn. As soon as Don hit the door, opened up the door, they tased him, put him down on the ground. It's a 74-year-old man who's had 3 heart attacks. And what I understand also, they proceeded to remove the probes from him. There's an ambulance there. They wanted to take him away. He wouldn't go. They then went in his house, took all of his guns, went straight to where they were at. Obviously, his daughter had informed the law enforcement officers to where his firearms were at. But like I said, to the best of my knowledge, I didn't see a search warrant. I went over and talked to him. Only thing I saw was basically an inventory list of the weapons they took. And the reason why is because it just said harm. It didn't say who he was going to harm, how he was going to harm anybody. So, you know, Don's been down to the Crawford County Sheriff down 2 or 3 times to try to get his guns back. They say it's going to be 3 or 4 years. Article 1, and let me just go now and let us review what, just according to the Missouri Constitution, how Mr. Martin, Sheriff Martin, and his officers have violated their oath. In this one instance, Article 1, Section 10 of the Missouri Constitution says that no person shall be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process of law, without a warrant. Crawford County Sheriff's Department, under the direction of Sheriff Martin, and with the full cooperation of Missouri Highway Patrol, like I said, blocked off Highway PP. I didn't see no warrant. The reason given on the inventory report I just spoke about was that he was going to harm or injure somebody. And so that was the first one. Number 2, Article 1, Section 14, the Missouri Constitution, that the courts of justice shall be open to every person, and certain remedy afforded to every injury to person, property, or character, that a right and justice shall be administered without sale, denial, or delay. Don wasn't charged with anything at that time. He wasn't taken in. He wasn't committed. When he came back to get his property, they wouldn't give it to him. As far as I'm concerned, that's outright theft. And, being done with a gun and a badge, it's even worse. course, Article 1, Section 23 of the Missouri Constitution says that the right of every citizen to keep and bear arms in defense of his home, person, and property, or when lawfully summoned in the aid of civil power, should not be questioned. This shall not justify the wearing of concealed weapons. Now, I just got to venture to say that the actions of Sheriff Martin, Deputy Schaffenberg, Coleman, and others certainly question Mr. Weber's right to own his firearms in defense of his home. So yeah, basically 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out. Now, like I said, I've got not hundreds of other cases, but I can document another 20 cases. I'm not going to sit here and talk to you about that. I just wanted to basically make you all aware of what was going on in this particular one case. And I would appreciate if you would address the sheriff, his officers, that they are bound to uphold the Constitution, at least they should be. And, the number one thing, folks, for 21 years, what I've done for my living is try to promote Crawford County. I work for various canoe outfitters. I'm an independent contractor. I go around into St. Louis, pass out brochures, try to promote this county, bring people here. The number one complaint while I'm out in St. Louis is come on vacation, leave on probation. That's not the county, the reputation the county wants to have. Last year, the best I could figure, between $25 to $30 million was brought into this county through tourism. And, we need, I know some folks don't like the tourists coming into this county, but I think as far as money is concerned, you need the tourists to come into this county. And, the number one thing they're going to see is the law enforcement apparatus. They're going to see the sheriff. I mean, they're not going to see you guys, the commissioners. They're not going to see the prosecuting attorney. What they're going to see is the law enforcement apparatus. And, all these guys take an oath uphold the Constitution. And they certainly, in this one instance, didn't do that. So, I just ask you to cut off Sheriff Martin's funding. And, like John said earlier, cut the money off, that's when things get done. So I just wanted to make you aware of what was going on. Put you on notice and on record, that you got problems in this county. When they don't uphold the Constitution, when someone can go in and just, basically rob this man, without, getting a court order or order of commitment, there's due process. And to taser a 74-year-old man who, to the best of my knowledge, and obviously if he had resisted, I would believe they would have arrested him on the spot. That's a problem. That's terrorism. And, we're supposed to be fighting that. And so that's why I'm here today, to let you all know, what was going on and make you aware of it. I do a little paper, I do have a website, and I love this county. Like I said, I've been promoting it for 20 plus years since I got out of college. And, I want to see people come down here and spend their tourism dollars. I want to see this county prosper. And I want to see the citizens of this county feel safe. There are literally people who I've talked to who are actually terrorized by the law enforcement people in this county. And that's just not right. It's just not just, and it's not what America is about. We are supposed to be a republic under the rule of law. And so that's why I'm here, just to kind of let you all know what was going on. I will be running more ads and, trying to follow up on a few other things. I'd be more than happy to come back and talk to you guys again. But as the county commission, as the, what you guys are, basically it's all about funding. So I just wanted to let you know what was going on. I pray for this county, and I pray, it's so encouraging to see a God we trust on top of the courthouse. And to open a meeting with prayer. And, our rights, liberties are inalienable, which means they come from God. And the whole point and purpose of our government is to protect and maintain our God-given individual rights. When it fails to do so, it's failed its chief design. And according to the Missouri Constitution, that government should be replaced and the police thereof. So that's really all I wanted to say. I appreciate your time. God bless you. I got this.